Ben.
Right.
Well, do you know what I'm going to let you do today?
What's that?
Do all the talking. Actually, somebody left a comment. Does your wife ever let you talk? So I went in and replied sometimes. So over to you, babe.
Thank you very much. Okay, briefly, this Trump has to take over Haarp. I've done all the measurements on Haarp and the quarry, the moment that the detonation occurred, which damaged the spillway at Oroville Dam. Another dam that's going to be targeted is Shasta. Now Shasta holds more water than Oroville. It's already 137%. Can you imagine that, how you get that number? They must have 100% as this level, and they've gone past that by another 37%. Now the idea is all the numbers that I've done on the distances from Haarp, from the detonation, from the moon position at the moment of the detonation, spells out that the Jews, and it names them specifically, are going to lay waste to the Christian world, in particular America, to start a civil war. They're going to release the floodwaters and turn the valleys running down California into mud and death. So that's what they're planning to do. So they've controlled the weather for such a long time now. There are actually ships floating around the oceans that are also to do with Haarp. I think there's 35 or 36 different locations where Haarp is now. Trump has to take over Haarp, get the army in there, and what you could then do is put a high pressure area over California, and that'll stop the rain.
Well, the point is about Haarp, though, it's already a military facility. It's the military that controls it. They do it for all their research. Hello?
Well, there you go. So what they're doing, of course, is this is all controlled by, it doesn't matter who you put in there. It's the soldiers on the ground and the scientists up there that are all part of the Jewish establishment. So they say, yes, thank you, and off they go. And as soon as the backs are turned, they're into doing what they do. So Donald Trump has to be very, very vigilant on this matter, because if you don't do that, California is screwed, and that for as America is toast, and this will be a civil war for sure. And then you've got your FEMA camps and you've got the guillotines. In several states of America, they've already passed laws where beheading is a capital punishment. And got to go back to 1991, the 20th of March, when George Bush, the lovely man, George
So
Bush,
these things,
signed into law the Noahide laws.
Yes.
And the Noahide laws are a complete and utter abomination. And as you know, in one of the videos, it's up there. And this is what these Satanists do.
Now these things must be brought, we've covered these extensively in the last 3 or 4 videos. The point is, these things must be made aware to President Trump. Now, there's all kinds of information coming out of the White House about who's controlling what in the show and all the rest of it. And somebody said that the phones are not even working. Try the phones. Phone, and it insists on speaking to him, because he is the only one that can go in and overtake these facilities and tell him to repeal the Noahide laws that are the basis of America.
That's number one. Guillotining is such a terrible thing. When I was a child, I had visions of it, and it was absolutely one of my nightmares that this would be happening to people, and of course they're doing it now. And as you know, ISIS throughout the Middle East has been beheading people. I mean, that to me is such a horror that it is beyond an abomination, beyond. This is satanic. So all the numbers I've done just in this brief hour before we decided to upload this, just you really have to get word to Trump in a myriad of ways. Letters, petitions, but also you can go on Twitter and send all of his relatives tweets that he has to control Haarp. And then once you control Haarp, and I don't know how scientific Trump is, but he has to understand that you can easily put a high pressure zone over an area and stop rain from falling. So you can have light rains, of course, in the areas where you need it, but not on the mountains where they're going to accumulate and run down into the dams. Now the dams also have to be taken over by the government. You can't have corporations owning the facilities like electricity, coal or oil. You can't do that. It's ridiculous. The resources of the land is what you people in America own, in Australia of course. I have mentioned before the amount of wealth that's in Australia is beyond comprehension, and that was taken over, according to Billy Hughes, who was the Prime Minister in 1909. He said Australia is basically stuffed. The Jews have taken over all resources. That's in 1909. Right? So what do you think is happening in America? 75% of your water in the ground is polluted. And you've had 10 years of flooding conditions in these dams that have been overflowing, and yet the water's been cut off for the orange groves, for example, all throughout the valleys. And the trees are now finished, but there's no reason why you can't bring in full-grown trees and put them back in where they were before. You can't gather them from countries like Brazil or various areas of the world where they have lots of trees, mature trees, just fly them in. Doesn't matter what it costs. I mean, you've got to do it, otherwise you'll have mass starvation, and then you'll have civil war in the country. That's why they brought the Muslims in to behead you. So they like that sort of thing. And this is the African Muslims. I'm not talking about the nice Muslims, the family Muslims. They are, a lot of people here in Australia that are Muslims, are family Muslims, and very nice, peaceful people, and they are delighted to hear from our people that Christ is already back on the earth, because they're expecting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they're happy about it. And they will listen. Once they believe, they'll listen. What you've got to get rid of in all of your churches and administration right the way up is the World Council of Churches, these people. It's all got to be disbanded. The church should be as private as your own home, and you get on the TV and talk to somebody, or listen to somebody rather, and don't pay money, don't donate to Jack Van Impe and all these people. They're all just making money. So it's a complete rot. And don't tithe. You don't tithe to a church. You help each other. You find someone who's poor in the area, you go and help them. Right? You don't give it to a church to think they're going to help them, so they can help themselves. It's like saying the church oath, open your wallet and help yourself. Repeat after me, help yourself.
And when we're talking, it's always the leaders at the top. All of the modern churches are condemned. That's Matthew 7:22 and 23. Lord, Lord, haven't we done these wonderful things in our name? They are all totally condemned. They are workers of iniquity. They've been supporting Israel. Speaking of which, you've got Netanyahu, the rabid dog in the USA now. He really should be put down. He is just a puppet for the Rothschild. It all goes back to the Rothschild. They own, it's the family dynasty. Incorporation
Mr.
with
Trump,
Israel.
President Trump, look into the Noahide laws, and then Bush, and then you got Bush's son, who is the grandson of Aleister Crowley. Hello, wake up. You're fighting something here that is so diabolical that it is beyond comprehension because you're a nice fellow. But once you understand that it's all to do with this demonic Jewish takeover of the world, and it goes back, we're talking about 1492, it goes back way before that. It goes back to Babylon, it's like 400, 500 BC. That's where it all started. That's where the Sanhedrin was at the time of Jesus' crucifixion. So, I have mentioned before in other uploads that Caiaphas, who had actually ordered the crucifixion, they had to get the Romans to do it because the Romans were the only ones that were able to do that type of death. What the Jews could do was stone you to death. So it's a very, very serious thing when you look at the actual letters written by Caiaphas to the Sanhedrin, major point, in Babylon. And he said that Jesus showed up and he was in a block room with his wife and his father-in-law, and he said he almost felt and melted through the floor. Jesus said, "You've got an evil heart, see you later." So that's all recorded. That's why, as Jesus, you've got to remember this. What was Jesus? He was a baby that was growing up with God inside him and giving him orders. That's why I've said before, I've mentioned it, that people have asked, I don't have a subconscious, because I am the subconscious of Jesus. And when I was born in this life, what I could do at the age of 2, I spoke fluently. I could memorise entire books. I didn't have to discuss anything with anybody. If someone made a statement like Einstein's theory of relativity, I just said he was wrong at 2 years of age. So who was doing the talking? So this is the same thing as Jesus. Jesus was God in the flesh, because in the flesh of Jesus was himself, right? So you've got the first part, the Creator, and then you've got the second part, which is the second part of the Trinity, the Jesus figure, that is time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 days times pi, gives you the location in miles from the South Pole to where the maternity ward was, which is how many times, also the same number, how many times the word God is found in the King James Bible. So I don't say change the Bible, keep it, because you've got to be able to see the evil in it. So don't alter one word.
Now,
so you've got to get to Trump, tell him, wake him up, right?
Yes.
Stop stuffing around.
The hypo, yes. Yes,
SN,
perhaps,
yes,
the SC, yes. Angels are in control over everything, which is exactly why they've been polluting the water, the air, and of course chemtrails blocking out the sun. It has everything to do with the natural creation, the order as God has created it, and interfering with it. That's what the devil does, the counterfeit. And what you have there is a recipe for Essene bread. So you can probably buy it in a health food store. In Australia you can, but look for Essene sprouted bread. It was all about sprouting wheat, and that's the best thing for your body.
Now, as far as waking Trump up is concerned, you've got to figure out some way of getting to him and tell him to control Haarp. He's got to control the army and the navy. Navy is the big wheel, and the Air Force, of course, and stop these chemtrails. It's a load of bullshit. So if you stop the chemtrails, then you've got your health starting to come good. Your water is going to be better. You've got to take over companies like Monsanto and Nestle and all that. Just take them over. If you go back when the corporation was originally set up, the idea was, let's say you want to build a bridge, then a corporation would be formed, and they would build a bridge, and then after the bridge was built, the corporation would be disbanded. When they come up with the idea of the 14th Amendment, I think it is, where Negroes became human beings, they made corporations human beings. That's why a corporation, Toyota, is so pleased that you bought a Toyota.
Yeah, right. Toyota cares.
Toyota really cares for you.